So when I bring in the vaster context, I don't have to deal individually with all of those. Because in the vaster context, I see how the birth trauma and the childhood trauma and the past lives and the Akashic Records and the pre-birth planning and the ancestral lineage, it's like they're all just interconnected and can all be worked on at once. Much more clearly, much more quickly, much more simply. Like it's just amazing how much it can accelerate. Hey everyone, thanks for being here. I am Mark, and this is By Divine Design. Welcome to our free Zoom transmission and meditation that happens every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're catching this later on YouTube, look in the video description and you can find a link for more information how to join yourself. So already this transmission of divine love consciousness is extremely present. So let's just welcome that in. This is a transmission of divine love consciousness that's always for your highest good and the highest good of all. So we're going to talk a little bit here up front to set up the transmission for today, which will begin in about 10 to 15 minutes. So first, the guides would like to share a bit more about the words of power. So there's actually 5 words of power, but I don't think I publicly introduced the 5th one. It was shared in, I think, one of the breakthrough sessions, but now we're going to share it with everyone. So these are 5 different words that the guides have programmed with a lot of different energies that you can access, that I constantly access, but you can also access the power of these, in whatever way feels right to you. So let me just use them and demonstrate them to you. Welcome, welcome. Would you be willing to just welcome everything you're aware of in this moment? So welcome is the first word of power. This automatically shifts you away from trying to understand, trying to fix, trying to repress, and opens you to whatever's here. It presupposes that whatever's arising in your consciousness is for you, has a gift for you. So welcome, then you might flow on to love. So love is another word of power. Love, 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 love. So sometimes just as I'm walking like through the forest, I'll find myself using this word of power as like a mantra, just repeating it slowly. Love, love. You'll notice that each of these words kind of have their own rhythm in the moment. But this word of power, love as a word of power, just reaffirms and reawakens that everything actually is love. And love clears all, heals all, unites all, uplifts all. So love, 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 love. Just truly wonderful. Like, just notice what you experience as you repeat this as a word of power. It's just an intention. So you can say these out loud. You can say them within your own mind or just have the intention. Love, 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 silently. Okay, so, and then you might go to clear. Clear, 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 clear. Like when you welcome, when you love, or use any of these words, often it just like brings to the surface that which no longer fits or matches the vibration of welcoming or loving. And so you can just use clear to like just have the intention to wipe this stuff out of your system. It's like, or to filter what's, no longer pure, that's come to the surface, to just instantly filter that out. Clear, 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 clear. And I often, especially with love, I'll find myself directing it, like right now, at the heart chakra. Clear, 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 clear. Sometimes it might be more the third chakra. It might be a particular area of my body. It might be a particular area in the energy field that, like, this right now is fears about the future. Clear, 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 clear. Any and all fears that you have about the future. Clear, clear, clear. And then love, love. Whenever you clear something, love automatically flows in. But you can then like bring in the word love and just consciously fill that space with love that you just cleared. Let's see. And then expand. Expand is another one. This is the one I haven't introduced before on these Wednesday calls. But yeah, so like as you're just, anytime you just feel it's all becoming a little too tight, a little too limited, a little too contracted, and you just feel any sense of like, yeah, what if I could just expand, expand, expand. And then again, quite often, as soon as you expand, love just starts flowing in. Love and life force start to fill into that expanded space. So just at times, you'll just be drawn to expand, expand. What if I could see a larger, more expanded perspective on this? What if I could feel more of my infinite divine being, who's infinite? So, of course, I have to keep expanding to have more and more of a direct experience of that. And then finally, the fifth word of power is breakthrough. So you can use breakthrough as much as you want, but I often find that it's only after using the others for a while in a particular situation that then I sense the energies of breakthrough. See, like, I can't say it right now because they're building. I can feel them building. I can feel them expanding, expand, expand. So this is a breakthrough regarding your use of these words of power that's building and growing and expanding. And see, it's still growing. I mean, I could use the word breakthrough. It wouldn't hurt anything. It would only prompt more of the breakthrough energies, but I like to wait until it feels ripe. Like right there now. See, there's an opening in the heart chakra. It's growing, it's expanding, and it's just now breakthrough. Breakthrough, 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 clear, 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 expand, and welcome all of that. So you can just consider these like tools in your tool belt, toys in your toy belt, ways to play with the energies, with the transmission of divine love consciousness. Okay, so that's the first part. The second thing we want to talk a little bit more about is these energies of the vaster context. the guides are revealing more and more about what this actually is, what it allows. And it's amazing. It's exciting. It's amazing. So we introduced it some in the group last week. But we also have this weekly healing circle that is open to anyone who's a participant in the Loving Bliss of Being online program. So if you sign up for that online program, which you can find on my website under online programs, then you automatically gain access to this weekly group that's every Sunday. And is free once you're a member of the program. And the guides this past week, this past Sunday, declared that this is our seed group. This is like where the framework of the group has grown strong enough that it's now like our playground for bringing through these higher, newer energies, vibrations. It's a place that the guides get to play. And because it's a group co-created context, it allows the guides to show me things that they can't as easily show me on my own. So within this context, this is where the energies of the vaster context first started getting transmitted. And so first they showed me during these healing circle sessions, they started showing them to me, the first two levels of the vaster context. And I just transmitted them silently as the group members were doing a normal healing circle. And then the third week, the guides had me introduce it verbally with the group and show them level 1. And so the first half was like now this new seed group format where we just brought in the energies and just silently bathed in them. And then we shifted into the healing group context where everyone is open to share whatever they're experiencing in the midst of the transmission and meditation, ask for healing on this or that. And then everyone in the group creates the healing. So in this past week, we did that again, and the guides introduced level 2 into the group. And everyone had pretty profound experiences. I think I definitely had a pretty profound experience, especially when I went back and I re-listened to that recording. And it's now just there in the one-to-one sessions. Like the one-to-one sessions I've had since Sunday, this vaster context level 1 and level 2 both just easily came in. So they've been showing me more of what this vaster context is, and they want me to try and put that into words some. So one way of thinking about it, so here, our present material existence, that includes Earth and this material universe all around us, has many, many dimensions within it. And so often when we do these transmissions, we bring you to higher and higher dimensions and help you get adjusted and used to those and more open to those. But all of that is contained within what the guides call a framework. So the material or earth framework is a framework we live within, we experience, and that framework contains all these different dimensions. Well, there's other frameworks, like the divine worlds are in their own framework, and they overlap with our material framework. They're accessible, but they are actually in their own framework. And then the angelic framework is like a super case or a sub case or however you want. It's an aspect of the divine framework, but it has its own rules and laws. And that's why angels have access to every framework, divine angels from this divine. Anyhow, so the vaster context is actually a different framework. And it's different in very cool ways. So one of the things it allows is it transcends our framework. So within our framework, we're in the midst of moving from a more 3D consciousness to a more 5D consciousness. Well, the vaster context transcends both of those and is in contact with both of those. So it creates an immediate direct bridge between both of those. Another way to think about it is like time and space. So in our framework, there's space-time. There's the illusion of time and the illusion of space, and they're connected. But like right now, I'm here in this location, this point in space, but I could travel somewhere else and be in, well, the vaster context doesn't have space-time. So when you're open to and experiencing the energies of the vaster context, all space is right here, all time is right here. Like to the vaster context, it immediately connects the long ago to the future, to the present, the near to the far. It just, it's a different experience. It's way different. And it's not just a different dimension. It's a different framework. It's outside of our framework. Like another way, like this, the way this has been showing up in the sessions is like previously, I would spend a lot of time clearing whatever blockages and low vibrational influences the client or the group is experiencing. So this could include going back to childhood trauma, birth trauma, past lives, future lives, other dimensional experiences, ancestors, your family lineage, ancestral lineage, cultural lineage, and then the collective. So when I bring in the vaster context, I don't have to deal individually with all of those. Because in the vaster context, I see how the birth trauma and the childhood trauma and the past lives and the Akashic Records and the pre-birth planning and the ancestral lineage, it's like they're all just interconnected and can all be worked on at once. Much more clearly, much more quickly, much more simply. Like it's just amazing how much it can accelerate. And then the last point we're going to just highlight with this. Like once you open to this, get acclimated to the vaster contexts, they're just with you day and night. You don't have to go into a meditation to access them. They're like, they transcend meditation. They transcend dimensions. They can be as present with you in your waking life as in a meditation, as in a dream. They don't care about your state of consciousness. So you can be like, using them isn't quite the right word, because that makes it sound like you have to be active, but it's more like you can be aware of them acting through you and through your life day and night without doing anything. Once you're connected and open to them, Yeah, they just do the work for you. They do the clearing for you. Like, now a side effect of that, so they also transcend all the levels of your unconscious. So we go from highly conscious and the most subtle levels of consciousness all the way down to the fully unconscious and the densest, most repressed levels of our consciousness. These vaster context energies have access to all of that. So you might be going through your day, and some part of you, like the deepest, densest, most repressed part of you, like the inner child within you that still feels like he or she has never had the loving attention he or she wants, deserves, still feels like it's being pushed away, ignored, misunderstood, etc. Like the part of you that's just crying all the time and you never hear it because you've so successfully repressed it. Well, the vaster context energies are right there with that part of you. And they're with every layer and level of you still trying to repress that. So as you're going through your day in the midst of these vaster context energies, you might suddenly find yourself crying really, really deep, ancient tears of this old repressed part of you that's never been loved, never been given attention. And that might sound scary to your ego, but it's incredibly releasing. It's incredibly healing. It moves through, as long as you don't try to repress it or resist it, it'll move through quite quickly and be done with. That part of you will be connected back to your heart, to your conscious awareness, offering you its point of view as you go through the day that you were always cut off from before. It allows you to be more you. And quite often, this is the part of you that's like most pure, most innocent, most ingenious, creative. Yeah, so who wouldn't want to be in touch with that again? Okay, that's it for the introduction, the setup today. We're excited to introduce this vaster context to you more today. Maybe we'll even get to level 2, which is like the meta context of the context. Let me see, how did we describe that once before? So like if the vaster context level 1 is the pure light and essence of this framework, this earth framework, and every framework, then the level 2 is like the pure essence of that. We're just taking a moment to show that to you, not just explain it to you. Yeah, breakthrough, 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 breakthrough. So they're already coming through. You'll have a conscious experience of it eventually if you're not already. Yeah, because I'm tracking it in all of your energy systems, and yeah, you're all ripe for this, or you wouldn't be here, and you're here. So it's time. It's time. It's time. They okay. Let me get the clearest answer I can on this. New information coming in. Just a moment. Yeah, again, I can see it, I can feel it, looking for the right words. So, the transmission of divine love consciousness comes from the divine realm, from the divine abode, the divine framework. The vaster context is also a divine framework, but it's like a helper. It like plays a helping role that just allows the divine love consciousness and its transmission to be more powerful. It's like a catalyst, an amplifier. But those words are a little too limited, but at least point you in the right direction. So it's like the vaster context is, in a way, outside of the transmission of divine love consciousness, but is ever present to it. I mean, it's been playing this role even before I was consciously aware of it. It always plays this role with divine energies. When somebody's ready for it, you gain access to this framework and the way it can accelerate and expand your expansiousness, expand your awareness or consciousness of divine love. So it's not directly within the divine love consciousness, but it's always present as a catalyst. So to answer one part of your question, no, there's nothing you need to do per se. It does respond to your intention, especially at the beginning. So like today, I was out for a walk and I just kind of consciously invited it in. What would it be what would it be like to be aware of the vaster context as I'm walking? So asking that question is an intent to have that experience, to invite it in. And then it just started showing me all kinds of cool stuff as I was walking along. So in a way, you're not like the vaster context is always here, but it's like I was asking myself to become aware of it more than I was asking it to make itself. There's a slight difference there. It's us who needs the intention to become aware of it. It's always here. But the more you're aware of it, the more it can do for you, the more it can affect you, the more it can use you as a channel into this dimension. So in that regard, it's more an intention to ourselves. Do I want to be involved with this? Yes. Do I want to be more involved? Do I want to invite it in this moment consciously? Because it's already here. Especially now, like anyone involved with my work is now being like has this association with vaster context, whether they're conscious of it yet or not. But as they like watch a transmission like this, then you become more aware of it, and then you can interact with it more. You can have a relationship with it. It's a really different framework. Like I at times go into the pure framework, and it's like this blue grid work. And then like everywhere the grid crosses, there's a ball of light, and that's a being. But these beings are in oneness in a way we can hardly even grasp. So it's like every being is exactly the same as every other being, but they don't even think of it that way. Like, yeah, it's kind of, but anyhow, and it's like every being, its whole role is to maintain the grid work. But even that makes it sound like there's a self and intention and they have to do something. It's just part of their nature. It's just happening. It's part of their being. to maintain this grid work at the highest possible level and then to ever increase that, to make it even richer, more beautiful, more refined, more harmonious. And it's just constantly doing that and becoming more and more infinite. So of course it wants to share itself with whoever, whatever, wherever is open to it. Because it's always increasing. And when you're always increasing, you just look for ways to share yourself. Anyhow, that's a little bit more about what's going on in that framework. It's very different, very, very different than the divine abode framework and the material earth framework. Yeah. It's exciting discovering something so new and different, trying to put words on it. Yeah, good. So let's open to the formal transmission and see where this goes. Yeah. Okay, let's begin. This is a transmission of divine love consciousness that's always for your highest good and the highest good of all. You're invited to allow the transmission to meditate you. All you need to do is relax, open, receive. Notice what you notice along the way. If thoughts, emotions, sensations come up during the transmission, just welcome them. Just know they can't get in the way of the transmission. Yeah, just welcome, 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 welcome. As your system absorbs these energies, receives, opens, and expands, you might notice how you're already relaxing more, becoming lighter, freer, calmer and quieter. The energies of the vaster context framework are already present, but we're now pulling you consciously into them more and more, so you can begin to notice your own direct experience of the vaster context. And without putting any words on it, we're going to immediately also bring in level 2. Just notice what shifts or changes for you, if anything. It's good for you to know these energies connect you with everything, everywhere, all at once, because that's its nature. It transcends everything within you, all around you, throughout this whole material dimension, and thus gives you access to everything, everywhere, all at once. Like this is already working on the collective consciousness of the whole planet. It's working on your family, your friends, your community. It's working on every level of your energy system. It's working on your Akashic Records, your pre-birth planning meeting, all your past lives, future lives, other lifetimes, as well as other dimensional experiences. It connects you directly to every form of the infinite divine. It gives you more direct, conscious access to your infinite divine being, your infinite divine God realized self. Your divine beloved, any other divine forms of God you associate with. Could be Jesus or Krishna, Kuan Yin, Divine Mother, Divine Father, as well as divine avatars and gurus. Whether the association is from this life or from other lives. So we're just going to bask in these associations, these connections that the vaster context makes more immediate, more direct, more palpable. Would you be willing to allow yourself to continue to expand, expand, expand? Would you be willing to allow yourself to simply welcome, welcome, welcome everything you are experiencing and aware of? Would you be willing to allow your Akashic Records to update within the context of these energies all the additional information that these connections are providing? Allowing your future, your present, your past to all upgrade as well. And now you may notice this is affecting your ancestral lineage, back several generations, forward several generations. Releasing any ancestors still stuck in hellish dimensions, misunderstandings of their own belief systems. Clear, 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 clear. So level one of the vaster context is kind of taken prominence again. To help purify your ancestral lineage forwards and backwards. Yeah, it's good for you to know the vast context is innately intelligent. It knows which level is most useful, when, where, for how long. It's good for you to know the Akashic Records, the ancestral lineage, their connections to your birth trauma, childhood traumas. Yeah, they're just all being cleared and healed. Okay, there's an interesting point of resistance coming up in your systems. Related to what we could call the inner child energies. The parts of you that didn't get the relationship experiences, that didn't have the relationship attention, connection experience that would have allowed it to move completely through each and every experience you were having. And therefore got stuck. That energy got stuck. There was a feeling of incompleteness, missing out. Yeah, getting stuck, getting stuck. And then as that got re-triggered throughout your life, and you pushed it down again, it felt lonelier, lonelier, more and more separate, more and more cut off, more and more hopeless, helpless, alone. Angry, ashamed, apathetic, move through all these different emotional experiences. All while, like as if it was locked away in a room within your energy system. No windows, no doors, no open doors. But even this, the vaster context has immediate direct access not only to the essential energy that was originally repressed, but then through all those layers of repression, all the walls that got built layer after layer after layer. All of that's being cleared, all of that's being bathed in light, love, and truth, and attention. Would you be willing to allow this part of you to receive the attention it has been craving? From you as infinite divine being. It's good to know that another human being can never fulfill this need. Only the infinite divine being can truly fulfill this need. Would you be willing to let go of seeking this healing and fulfillment from others outside of you and allow yourself to have it here now, immediately from within, from your own infinite divine being? Would you be willing to let go of any and all misunderstandings, misbeliefs that you can't receive this from yourself, that it requires another outside of you? Yeah. Would you be willing to allow yourself to see through that illusion, the trap it creates, the discomfort it creates, and allow yourself to explore what would it be like if I do actually have direct access to my own infinite divine being, and that being can truly love each and every part of myself that ever felt ignored, locked away, misunderstood, not seen, not heard, not loved, not hugged. Clear, 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 clear all that's releasing, all that's rising to the surface, but also welcoming, 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 breakthrough. Okay, level 2 of the vaster context is being highlighted once again. It just allows all this healing to easily be shared with the rest of your own energy system, with you in other lifetimes, with the collective consciousness, with all of your ancestors and family and friends. Because in the vaster consciousness, especially this level 2, there's no distance between any of those. Since the vaster context, the framework of the vaster context is divine, it's always becoming more refined, more harmonized, more organized. Because that's part of the divine nature. It's always getting better and better and better and better. So as you bask in the vaster context, it just automatically shares that quality of getting better and better with you, which it's doing right now. Would you be willing to allow yourself to notice what would make this more fun for you, more enjoyable, more peaceful? Okay, again, we're noticing some resistance come up in your system. This is regarding the time element. So there's a resistance to instantaneous change, what sometimes might be called miraculous healing, instantaneous healing, instantaneous change. So there's parts of your system that were conditioned to believe that things need to take time, especially good things need to take time, need to have an element of challenge or difficulty to make them meaningful. That if everything just shifts instantaneously, it would be too chaotic, it would be too scary. Like, this is what happens in our dreams all the time. Dreams are a very thought-based experience. They respond immediately to what you're thinking as you're in the dream. And that can make them seem much more chaotic. Because, like, if you see a shadow to the side of your view and you respond to that with fear, then it responds to that and it becomes something fearful. But if you see some kind of shadow to the side and you're like, oh, what could that be? That might be, my divine beloved approaching or something. Then it becomes that. It responds to your thinking immediately. And that is what the vaster context actually gives you more access to while here in a human body in this dimension. So there's the part of your system that's fearful of, no, I don't know that I want that power. I don't know that I want to heal my cancer in this moment with just a thought. So just welcome, welcome, welcome all of that. Just, yeah. There's wisdom in that, but it's mixed with untruth as well. So if your ego had the power to shift things in a moment at the speed of thought, yeah, that could be really chaotic and not fun. In fact, most of you have had experiences like that in one way or another in this dimension or other dimensions. You've already experienced that's not so fun. But what if your infinite divine being, who always knows your highest good and the highest good of all, had access to this and only used it out of love when it was most perfectly for you? Yeah, would you be willing to allow that And what if your infinite divine being showed this to you bit by bit in a way that's comfortable, in a way that you can easily integrate at the level of personality? See, our infinite divine being, any divine form is a shapeshifter, can easily, effortlessly take on any other form. For a moment, for thousands of years, by our very nature, we are shapeshifters. This is just an aspect of that. To be able to look at your system and say, yeah, that, and that no longer serves me, boom, change, be gone. Okay, you're good. Yeah, there was a lot more excitement instead of fear that time. So we held that energy for you and showed that to your system. You're much more open to that now. That's great. Let's expand, expand, expand. Welcome, 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 welcome. Notice this is all based in love. Love knows the highest good of all, and your highest good is one and the same. Love requires no fear, never, no fear. Just, yeah, let that go. You don't need that in the system. Yeah, and then that's opening to a breakthrough. Breakthrough, 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 breakthrough. Yeah, what would it be like to break through completely to where you, as infinite divine being, know you can create any reality you wish to? That's for your highest good and the highest good of all. That is overflowing with love, love, love. That expands you and your energy field, enriches your life and everyone else's. There's a few beliefs coming up, few fears. If I have this ability, yeah, it's kind of like the fear of winning a lottery. Like if I suddenly become rich, everybody's going to want my money. It's that kind of fear. If I allow myself to realize I can change my reality in an instant, like that would be too much responsibility, and others would want things from me that I might not be able to give them. I'm just highlighting all of that, that it's a misunderstanding. It's old conditioning. Again, it applies more to you at a level of ego, not at all at the level of infinite divine being. And it's only the infinite divine being who can create any version of reality in this way. But we haven't had access to this because of all the conditioning, all the fears, all the resistance, which are getting cleared out now. Okay, one more level of resistance that we're noticing. Yeah, this is like for those of you still more on the path of karma instead of the path of dharma or service. Like the path of karma is learning through suffering, through cause and effect, through difficulty. And the path of service is learning through grace, ease, joy, yeah, serving others. So, yeah, to the extent that you're still involved with the path of karma, there's a fear of healing things immediately because that's taking away the way you learn. If I'm on the path of karma and still learning from having cancer, I'm hesitant to just heal that cancer because the part of me that might still be learning from it. Okay, so there's nothing to figure out here. The ego, especially, will never figure this out, will never understand this. Would you be willing to allow yourself to transcend trying to figure it out? Just let yourself be shown the higher truth that your own infinite divine being already knows, already is fully aligned with. There you go. So, would you be willing to allow yourself to notice that the fact that you are here being introduced to this means it's time to even more fully, more deeply, more completely let go of the path of karma? Let go of learning through suffering and open more to learning and growing through blissful joy, ease, grace, love, service. So that just opened you to level 3 of the vaster context. So just notice what you notice as this group shift that just happened opened the doorway to level 3 of the vaster context, an even more refined light and consciousness way of being. So it's good for you to know the vaster consciousness does not come in from any direction or just to one part of you. It's a context. It's all around you, always, infinitely, in every direction. It doesn't affect one part of you more than another part of you. It's affecting all of you everywhere, all at once. It can't be prevented from being present in any part of your system or any space around you. It has access, full access everywhere, always. And this level 3 is like more fully like love-based or love-centered than the first two levels. It's hard to put words on it. It's different than any way you've thought of love in the past. So again, just going to be quiet for a while here and just let you have your own direct experience of this love-based level 3 vaster context. And it's good for you to know if you have any concerns or focuses, desires, you can just allow them to come to mind as you're basking in the vaster context right now. good for you to know you can reconfigure your consciousness to be the best it can be for you here now, for the rest of your day and onward. As we bring this session to a close, this session is complete. Infinite blessings.